This is about augmented reality. It's pertaining to interaction with the virtual world as we see it. So, what augmented reality is basically, to people who don't know, it's literally termed as a window to the virtual world, so to speak. So basically, what you have is you have an interface. At this moment, you have an interface through which you observe the world outside, where in the world, physical and virtual worlds merge. Basically, that's augmented reality. To show something, okay, yeah. So I need a volunteer. Could you hold this up? So, as of now, interaction in augmented reality is defined like this. By camera, you can sense hand movements and you can move things around in augmented space. So this is just a printout. Okay, when you observe it through an augmented reality application, think of this as in terms of your glasses or in terms of phone or an interface in between. So if you can come closer, you can see a ball out here, and you can manipulate the ball by doing this, moves around. So yeah, basically you can do all that to move around the ball. So it's basically camera tracks your hand movements, and it moves the objects in relation to space. So that's one. Or you can have something like this. So this is basically, you can see a teapot out here. You can change the colors of it by going over it. Say this says red. I put my hand up and it turns red. It says blue. Put my hand up and it turns blue. So this is camera path. This is the usual existing one. So what I learned out of motion tools is proposed interaction in terms of physical level of interaction. I think interaction should be taken as literally as you move your own body parts and it interacts with the virtual space. So to demo something, so this is an Arduino, and then there's an accelerometer attached to it. What accelerometer measures is your rate of change of speed over time. So when you move your hand, you know rate of change of speed of your hand moving or delimited over time. So that is captured as an input onto the world, which you view through the lens. So it can move the objects around. That's how it is. And so it's something like this. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it recognizes this picture and it superimposes, say, a globe or sphere around it. And then when you move this accelerometer around in terms of physically, it moves. It moves in all the X, Y, and Z directions or into the 3D space of the virtual world, basically. And attach a gyroscope to it, you can tilt the stuff around. So that's a new way to interact with objects as such.
Can we see it for a second more?
Yeah. It's the resolution. Yeah, that's the scale. If you move that around, basically, move it around really, take it in your hands, both of them. So yeah, it moves. If you move to the left or in 3 dimensions, basically move in 3 dimensions. So that's that. So this is something new that came out of this message. And okay, this led me to another point of thought, where when you observe objects through an augmented space, what if you can put points around these objects, around the edges of the objects or so, to define to the computer that the object exists as such. So you could have a ball rolling around in virtual space, detecting this object and moving around it or in that manner. So that's something to be explored next. Okay. The idea behind augmented reality right now, from my train of thought, is something like this. If you enhance the physicality aspect of the virtual space, then you're in for something really good. In terms of how much can it come closer to, if you imagine augmented reality as a window to the virtual world, how much it can come closer to the physical aspect of our physical world will enhance what happens in it next and potential applications. So that is why it's all in glasses right now, Google glasses, because eyes, we say as metaphorically, are windows to the external world. So, okay, this is what as designers we can do. What it means as a window to the external world, if we can translate it in any manner, I think that's a word. That's one of my favorite words. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, certainly augmented reality is something that is being applied to the physical world. I think one thing is maybe just considering the form for the presentation of what the unit is. Like, I would want to see what would this device be,
Okay.
or maybe
okay,
like
yeah. So this translates actually to a wearable where you have micro Arduino, tiny mini Arduino, and gyroscope and accelerometer to start with on a wearable, and you can just point it basically. And your rate of change of hand movements is basically in your 3D space, like this. I go here, the object goes there, in that 3D box, if you picture it as a window. So basically. And yeah, so potential applications of it, if you were to think in terms of, the physical points in physical space model. If you have a sewer and you have a 3D model of a sewer, and you map points around all around it, you could probably calculate the flow of water through it and points where it could block, stuff like that. Possible. Simulation wise.
Does anybody have questions?
I know, from here it's more about the interaction, so. Right. Yeah.
I have a question. So when you are saying that bringing physicality in the world of virtual reality, augmented reality, explaining augmented reality as a window, do you really need the necessity of a physical object controlling those virtual objects in that like?
Yeah, so what I mean by that is cognizance of the computer or the virtual world in terms of what physicality means. So if a computer is able to understand that this is physical nature of an object or physical nature of an interaction, that is what will expand virtual reality or augmented reality in the future. So bringing the physicality to the virtual space. That's first expanding the.
I mean, yeah, because that thing was a little bit of sort of discontinued in this project, but it was amazing. By the way, because you were saying that you have a sort of controller in your hand, sort of moving on board, which is like
Moving on, yeah.
Yeah, essentially it's like moving a ball and with an accelerometer, right? And you were sort of predicting it on real-time camera feedback.
Yeah.
Like
Instead of the
yeah.
feedback, because camera again depends on the resolution.
It would have been very nice. It's something like you have an actual ball.
Actually,
Yeah, and you're pointing. The camera is pointing towards the ball, and that sort of creates something in that actual camera feedback, real-time camera feedback, rather than
okay.
you rotate, like
Moving that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
you
more,
can do
more
it
like contributing as input to the.
yeah, it's like it's a physical object. It's doing the same.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, like merging the physical object with the virtual object, as you are saying. Like, or as this waving thing or controlling objects in the virtual world will be done. We don't need that hardware for that. It's like,
Yeah,
it can be simply done inside. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, well, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
How many senses are there in the virtual world?
Well, has many problems. With eyes, pupil detection, that's one. Your senses, You can sense your heartbeat potentially and translate it to something. Sensors, basically,
In
all
the
types of
virtual
things.
world.
In the
Is the
virtual
answer
I mean,
infinity?
I mean,
it's kind of a
in
broad
terms-
question,
Yeah.
but it's because the example you showed of the
Okay, the advancements in computer science as of now concentrates more on computer vision, as in how computer from a virtual world can observe you as a digital person and translate in terms like that. So when you have pupil detection or something like that, when there is a camera that detects where your eye moves, stuff like that, that constitutes as input for it, basically. So that is the way it is responding right now to the changes and your
So I'm just wondering, if your body exists in the virtual world,
Yes, definitely.
How do you-
Definitely, it's a bit of a possibility.
is there like
It's-
haptic stuff? I mean, how do you imagine that
Haptic,
exists?
haptic feedback is a very good term because imagine this, you have a virtual object and you've plotted the points around it. When you're actually picking it up, if you get a haptic feedback, then it's actually a real object to you. Think about it.
So
That's beautiful.
this is a very fascinating conversation that I've been part of since '94. And I don't think it'll end anytime soon, so I think we will need to move on. But yeah, I mean, I wish you luck with the virtual world.
Yeah. And I encourage you, if you're going to pursue it, think of
Yeah.
the form, because that would help with the prototype of what you're trying to actually do with the
Okay.
communication. Cool, thank you.
Great, thanks.